Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration on this, what day is it? July 21st, 2022. It's a beautiful, hot, sunny day here in St. Louis, Missouri today. Hope it's wonderful wherever you are in the world. Today's topic is going to be social media and your girlfriend. And validation. It's all kind of a combination of bullshit. Or it can be anyway. Before we begin, smash that like button and subscribe. Shout out to Wade Emery, he's a loyal subscriber. And shout out to my 1,410 subscribers. We really jumped up there. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. And I'm going to give you something of value today. And I do that for selfish reasons, as you know, because whatever I give you comes back to me multiplied. Remember that in life. It's not about getting what you want. It's about giving what you want. I know that's contrary to popular opinion and what they tell you today. You got to go out there and grind. You got to make it happen. And there's a lot of truth to that. You have to take the action. But it's the action of giving, of providing service, or products, or something of value to other people. And when you do that, value comes back to you. Yeah, a lot of people want a fire in the stove, but they don't want to cut the wood. A lot of people want a crop, but they don't want to plant the seed and wait. You have to plant the seed and wait. An oak tree didn't grow up overnight. Look, there's some redwoods in the forest out there in California. How many years? Some of them are over 2,000 years old, or so I've been told or read. Took a while for them to get that big, didn't it? So remember that when you start something, you have to plant the seed, and it takes time to mature. Give it time. It goes through a lot of storms in life, too. How many storms do you think those giant sequoias, I think that's what they are, have gone through in over 2,000 years, and they're still there. They didn't give up, they're still going. But that's not the topic. Social media and your girlfriend, if you have a girlfriend. I brought this up because I read a half a page out of Avi's book, Dominance Mindset of a King. I think that's it. I never can remember the title perfectly. Anyway, that's a great book, you should check it out. Anyway, there's about a half a page and they're talking about these girls want you to be their boyfriend, or they want you to be their husband, but yet they still want to put themselves out there on social media, half-dressed. They want all the validation from these guys, the likes and all these messages. We didn't have that back in my day. Of course, people say I'm from the Stone Ages or the 13th century, or they tell me to crawl back under the rock I came out of. But we didn't have any of that. There wasn't. If you had a girlfriend, she didn't have guy friends she was hanging out with. She didn't have guys messaging her. She wasn't posting, in that time it would have been photos around town of her half nude so guys could come up and tell her how beautiful she looks. There wasn't none of that crap. And here's this, what does she need that for? If you're her man, why does she need validation from all these other men? Shouldn't the validation from you be sufficient for her? Yes, it should be, but in this age of social media, this validation, these likes, this attention has become an addiction. And I understand that because I realize how the phone can be. They say that when you get a message or some kind of a like or something like that, it's like a dopamine hit. And I can understand that because I've gotten where I'm picking my phone up all the time too, and I have to just put that son of a bitch down. Sometimes in the evening, if I have a meeting, I don't take the phone with me. I'll go somewhere and I don't take the phone. Then I get home, my kids are having a fit. Well, why didn't you have your phone? I left you a message. Did you read it? No, I didn't. I don't have the phone with me. Sometimes I have to escape from it because it becomes an addiction. So I understand how this happens with women, girls, ladies, having all these thirsty guys liking your photos and leaving you comments and telling you how beautiful you are, and just having this option of, or what appears to be an option of men who just can't wait to be with you. But what are the quality of these men? What can they do for her? And what are you doing for her? And why does she need to have all these other men thirsting over her if she's happy with you? You hear people talk about if your woman really loves you, she will leave her country, her family, her school, her job, and everything for you. Now, if she really loves you, can't she put this behind her? And I've had that. I had a girl locked up for me one time. All she had to do was snitch out on me and they would let her out. But she didn't do it. 30 days she was in there. Think about that. I had another girl that was my first wife, left her family for me. Left her state, left her family for me. Had another girl that I was married to, left her country for me. I could go on and on about the things girls did for me that were in love with me. Okay, they didn't have all this other stuff. And if I would have told them to cut it off, they would have. But nowadays, it's become so accepted that they want to call you insecure, small dick energy, and other things if you don't like them being on social media, posting their ass and half nudes and all these other things. They act like there's something wrong with you. No, it's not about being insecure. It's about what are you doing all that for? If you're in love with me and you want to be my girl, why are you doing all this other stuff, trying to attract the attention of men, other men? How do you say it? Putting yourself out there like you're available, like you're on the market. And that's the way that I see it. And it's like, I know the last girl that I dated, we went out for over a year, and she was one of these, if we come down to her Instagram or me, the Instagram won out. Well, I can't live in that position. That's just not me. So, yeah, I walked away. That's just the way it is. I am not going to be second best to anything, especially an app. And I'm not going to be second best to her family, her job, or anything. Especially if I'm taking care of her, which I was in this case. I just don't fly. And I took care of every woman I've ever been with, and I took care of them very well. Even when I was younger and I had a harem, I had 4 or 5 girls, I had a wife, I had 2 girlfriends, and I had other girls. I didn't take care of the other girls, but those 3 women I took care of. They knew if they had a problem, they could come to me. Nobody messed with those girls because they knew they had to go through me if they were going to try to do anything to them. And I physically protected them more than once in my life. Okay, and I believe that's what a man is supposed to do. Yeah, maybe some people call that brutal or ancient or medieval or whatever, but that's because we live in such a posh, comfortable society. We believe that we don't need to be like that. And hopefully you'll never have to physically defend your girl or yourself. But if you get out there in the real big world, that may come to pass, because it's happened to me more than once. Maybe I do that to myself by my thinking, because I kind of like that type of excitement. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But the point is, you want to be able to protect your woman should the need arise. I mean, I think we live in a beautiful, wonderful, safe world, but there are very dangerous places in the world if you venture out of your little bubble. So, but that's off the topic. Back to the deal. If she's your girl and she calls you her man, then why does she need validation from all these other men? Remember, when you get together, you're out of the game. She's never out of the game. And if she's putting herself out there on social media, OnlyFans, Instagram, posting these photos, and if she's not posting you with her on Instagram, let's just forget about OnlyFans. She's got to drop that as soon as you two guys get together. If she's not putting you with her, what's up with that? I see that a lot too. Actually, when I see an Instagram profile of a good-looking woman and she's got her man on there with her, makes me think well of her. But if I see one, a beautiful woman, I know she's got a man in the background somewhere. And what about all these girls posting themselves out traveling and you never see the guy, but you know they're not paying for all that? I've experienced that too. That shit don't fly with me. It just doesn't fly with me. And it shouldn't fly with you either, because that's a form of disrespect. If she's not posting you with her, then that's a form of disrespect. I mean, if she's your girlfriend. Now, if she's just some girl you're going out with for the weekend, you're just having fun with her, then who gives a shit? Let her post her selfies like she's by herself and she's paying for the whole trip. Who cares? But if she's calling you her man and she is your girl, that's a whole different story. what the hell is she doing that for? Why isn't she posting you? Okay, and if she doesn't want to post you, she shouldn't be posting herself. And if you allow her to do that, and what I mean by allowing, I'm not saying you're controlling her. Okay, let's say it this way. If you're agreeing to that and accepting that, then you're walking like a simp, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I had somebody try to pull that on me, and that was before I didn't know anything about social media, because coming from a marriage of 12 years, and then I had to raise my kids, so I didn't date for almost 20 years. So I come into this new social media world, and it's like I was ignorant. I got a tough lesson real quick, I'm telling you. Definitely knocked the rust off of me. It's kind of like when I get back in the ring after years of not being in there, I get beat around pretty good. Well, that's kind of how I was when I come back into the dating after a 20-year layoff, and the rise of the social media and how all that works. But when I got burnt by a few things and didn't understand and was uncomfortable, I started researching all this. I started studying texting, messaging, social media, Instagram, and all these apps and various things to find out the psychology and how all this works. And the conclusion I came to is this: if you want to be my girl, you're not posting your ass all over social media. And you're definitely not going to have an OnlyFans page. I mean, if you want me to pimp you, that's fine. I can do that. All right, I've done that before. That's not my cup of tea, but I'm kind of jokingly saying that. But basically, if you're doing that, you're putting yourself out there like you're for sale, or at least you're available. How can you be available if you're with me? That's not congruent with a relationship, at least not the way I look at relationships. A lot of guys accept that. I don't know how you can accept that and walk with pride as a man. That's just the way I view it. You can think of it any way you like. All right, that's it for today. Hope I tried to keep that kind of positive. I'm trying to educate you guys, or at least get you to walk in a little masculinity and realize you are the leader. You shouldn't be following her around. I don't follow women on social media. I don't like girls' photos on social media. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine if it works for you. I've heard some guys do that and they manage to get girls like that. They just don't work for me. But whatever works for you. Everything I do will not work for you. Whatever you like that I tell you, take that and mold it and form it with your personality and your lifestyle. It may, like I said, it may not work for you. It may work great, but modify it so it does work in your situation. All right, I'm going to stop there. If you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com is my website. Check out my books on Amazon. Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, and The Power Is Within by Mark Daniels. What else? On Instagram, if you're watching this on YouTube, Mark's Inspiration. We have a podcast every Saturday night, The Power Is Within podcast. I got my daughter on there. She's 15. She has a lot of great insight for you young guys about dating. So check it out this Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm out of here. Take care.